Chapter 7. A man called Ove drills a hole for a hook. Ove has put on his best trousers and his going out shirt. Carefully he covers the floor with a protective sheet of plastic, as if protecting a valuable work of art. Not that the floor is particularly new, although he had sanded it less than 2 years ago. He's fairly sure that you don't lose much blood when you hang yourself, and it isn't because of worries about the dust or the drilling, or the marks when he kicks away the stool. In fact, he's glued some plastic pads to the bottom of its legs, so there shouldn't be any marks at all. No, the heavy-duty sheets of plastic that Ove so carefully unfolds, covering the entire hall. Living room and a good part of the kitchen are not for Ove's own sake at all. He imagines there'll be a hell of a lot of running about in here, with eager, jumped-up estate agents trying to get into the house before the ambulance men have so much as got the corpse out. And those bastards are not coming in here, scratching up Ove's floor with their shoes. Whether over Ove's head dead body or not, they had better be quite clear about that. He puts the stool in the middle of the floor. It's coated in at least 7 different layers of paint. Ove's wife decided in principle that she'd let Ove repaint one of the rooms in their house every 6 months. Or to be more exact, she decided she wanted a different color in one of the rooms once every 6 months. And when she said as much to Ove, he told her that she might as well forget it. And then she called the decorator for an estimate. And then she told Ove how much she was going to pay the decorator. And then Ove went to fetch his painting tool. You miss the strangest things when you lose someone. Little things, smiles, the way she turned around in her sleep, even repainting a room for her. Ove goes to get to his box of drill bits. These are single-handedly the most important things when drilling. Not the drill, but the bits. It's like having proper tires on your car instead of messing about with ceramic brakes and nonsense like that. Anyone who knows anything knows that. Ove positions himself in the middle of the room and sizes it up. Then, like a surgeon gazing down on his instruments, his eyes move searchingly over his drill bits. He selects one, slots it into the drill, and tests the trigger a little so that the drill makes a growling sound. Shakes his head, decides that it doesn't feel at all right, and changes the drill bit. He repeats this 4 times before he's satisfied, then walks through the living room, swinging the drill from his hand like a big revolver. He stands in the middle of the floor, staring up at the ceiling. He has to measure this up before he gets started, he realizes, so that the hole is centered. The wrong thing Ove knows is when someone just drills a hole in the ceiling, hit and miss. He goes to fetch a tape measure. He measures from each of the 4 corners twice to be on the safe side, and marks the center of the ceiling with a cross. Ove steps down from the stool, walks round to make sure the protective plastic is in position as it should be. unlocks the door so they won't have to break it down when they come to get him. It's a good door. It'll last many more years. He puts on his suit jacket and checks that the envelope is in his inside pocket. Finally, he turns round the photo of his wife in the window so that it looks out towards the shed. He doesn't want to make her watch what he's about to do, but on the other hand, he daren't put the photograph face down either. Ove's wife was always horribly ill-tempered if they ever ended up in some place without a view. She needed something to look at that's alive, she was always saying. So he points her towards the shed while thinking to himself that maybe that cat annoyance would come by again. Ove's wife liked cat annoyance. He fetches the drill, takes the hook, stands up on the stool and starts drilling. The first time the doorbell goes, he assumes he's made a mistake and ignores the sound for the very reason. The second time he realizes that there's actually someone ringing the door, and he ignores it for that very reason. The third time Ove stops drilling and glares at the door as if he may be able to convince whoever is standing outside to disappear by his mental powers alone. It doesn't work. The person in question obviously thinks the only rational explanation for his not opening the door the first time round was that he did not hear the doorbell. Ove steps off the stool, strides across the plastic sheets, through the living room and into the hall. Does it really have to be so difficult to kill yourself without constantly being disturbed? What? Fumes Ove as he flings the door open. The lanky one only manages by the whisker to pull his big head back and avoid an impact with his face. "Hi!" the pregnant one exclaims cheerfully beside him, though a half-meter lower down. Ove looks down at her, then up at him. The lanky one is busy touching every part of his face with some reluctance, as if to check that every protuberance is still where it should be. "This is for you," she says in a friendly sort of voice, and then shoves a blue plastic box into Ove's arms. Ove looks skeptical. "Biscuits," she explains encouragingly. Ove nods slowly, as if to confirm this. "You've really dressed up." She smiles. Ove nods again. And then they stand there, all three of them, waiting for someone to say something. In the end, she looks at the lanky one and shakes her head with resignation. "Oh, please, will you stop fidgeting with your face, darling?" she whispers and gives him a push in the side. The lanky one raises his eyes, meets her gaze and nods, looks at Ove. Ove looks at the pregnant one. The lanky one points at the box and his face lights up. "She's Iranian, you know. They bring food with them wherever they go."